What's up, guys? It's Scoopman 5000 back for another action figure review. Let's call this one a bonus episode. We're looking at the retro style animated Spider-Man. This is a Walmart exclusive, and he's been out for a very long time, a couple of months at least. But he did recently come in stock in a major way on Walmart.com. But feels good, man. Feels really good to have this, so we're going to celebrate. We're going to take a look. And this is a full circle moment. These card backs started with the retro carded Spider-Man. But people wanted this. They wanted animated Spider-Man, and I could see why. So let's get to it. Let's open them up. And here is retro Spider-Man out of the packaging. Now for his accessories on the figure, you're getting a pair of fists. You get a swap-out pair of wall-crawling hands and thwips. Then you're getting two splat web effects. One a little bit smaller, one a little bit bigger. And here we are, a gorgeous figure indeed. And even online, I didn't really appreciate just how different this figure at least feels. I think the colors is the main thing to start out with here. Beautiful blue color here. Like, I don't know if they made a figure with this color before, but it's great. The whole plastic is not too shiny. It's almost a matte, or at least a semi-gloss. And then you do get the shading, and you know, some people aren't a fan of the cartoon style shading, but it is kept to a minimum on this figure. It's really only on the pecs here, on the sides of the legs, side the arms, but otherwise they leave it alone. The red has none of that, and so what you get is a really clean Spider-Man figure, and I think one you could definitely get away with throwing in your comic book display. Up at the head sculpt here, I love the shape of this. If you get that profile, it's got the more pronounced nose and the jaw. That's straight out of the cartoon. And even up front, like the square jaw look and the different flares to the eyes. Like, this is awesome. This is really, like, if you think of the cartoon and then you look at this, like, it's one-to-one. You know, I'm sure you could find minor differences, but this guy is covered in painted web lines, and pretty much every single one is near perfect. I'm really trying to find some imperfections right now. I mean, maybe if you want to get crazy once you get into these butterflies, but the fact they're even painted on the butterfly, down at the boots, everything's solid. And then, of course, we're in the glorious pinless era. No blue pins sticking out of Spidey's arms or red on the inside. And even the way they've done the elbows and some of the other articulation, like the butterflies, doesn't break up much of the design at all. Overall, it just creates a really clean look. And I think this might be the best Spider-Man that Hasbro has made. It's really just taken all the best elements of the recent Spider-Man figures and given it this animated head sculpt, color scheme, which I think just pops. Like, this is a brilliant blue and red combo. And I don't know if that sounds silly, but like some of these other Spider-Mans are very like dull looking in comparison. We're going to do that in a minute. Let's do articulation first. And this I love to see. You got the hinge, so the head can look way up, and that's going to help a lot for different posing. Down is fine. I mean, better than some figures that wouldn't have a hinge. Not as much like tilting action, but you can make it work in combination. You can have them stick on the walls. Butterfly here actually works pretty well. I'm digging this range, better than we get on most. Arm goes just a little bit past 90 degrees. You got the bicep swivel. You got the double elbow. You got the hinge and the swivel at the wrist. Torso, upper bald peg, lower inverted ab crunch. So again, we went over this with that No Way Home set. Kind of restricts you in this way. You know, you want to turn the waist, but everything else is better. And that swivel motion is replaced by the upper diaphragm. Kick back on the spider cheeks, going forward is very good. Sideways, not as much. Upper thigh cut is tight. Double knee, back with ease, and doesn't look too bad. Then a hinge at the ankle and the ankle rocker. And this is where the fun begins, the comparisons. And I wanted to bring it back right here. This figure really started it all for the modern Spider-Man Marvel Legends. Before this was the Pizza Spidey. Pizza Spidey's not that great. He never really has been. This figure and everything that's kind of been an incarnation since was the blueprint, and it gave us figures like this. When we got retro Spider-Man, we're like, oh, it's never going to get better than this. Then we get Renew Your Vows, and now we got this guy. And they're all using the same base, fundamentally. Now, a lot of this is going to be up to opinion. Do you like the squintier eyes here? I think this came with an alternate head, actually. And then the darker color scheme, which on the camera I'm looking at, this looks nice too, but just something about this bright blue really pops for me. And it's also worth noting this guy has pins, but, I mean, it's not that old of a figure. It's still excellent. I mean, I want both. I'm glad I have them. But something about this animated guy really getting me. So now we're going to jump forward into the Renew Your Vows. And I guess we could look at these as different eras. And this almost looks older than 90s, even though the cartoon is from 90s. You could say the retro one is a 90s figure. This is more like a 2000 Spider-Man. So you could really display all three. You could have generations. The reds are very close here. You could probably do some head swapping, but I don't know why you would. This is definitely animated specific for that style. And I've noticed this figure is shorter than both of those. So that'll be interesting when you pose them up. But Spider-Man's usually surrounded by Doc Ock and Venom and the Lizard. So he's always going to look shorter, like he should be a smaller character, even surrounded by the Avengers, let's say. So I don't mind it. And yeah, really fun stuff here. Here he is with Spider-Man 2, PS5, Spider-Man. I still haven't reviewed this figure, but I think I'm going to eventually. Way taller and different color schemes. But again, Spider-Man 2, now you have this concept of Spider-Verse. You could just throw all these on one shelf. It's going to look great. Throw in some Ben Reilly action. And this is weird. This is the animated Symbiote Spider-Man, which we did review. And I think this is reusing retro Spider-Man, retro black suit Spider-Man with a different paint job. So he's a taller figure. He's got different kind of articulation. He's got toe hinges. So a little bit weird. I guess in your mind, if you want to say, oh, the symbiote suit makes him a little bigger, sure. Or you could just pose him around. But these are supposed to be the same. This, I guess, is more of a loose interpretation of the cartoon. This is like cartoon accurate right here, because even the eye shapes are different. So something worth noting there. And then here he is with animated Carnage. I mean, that looks decent, but I feel like this is just such a home run and so faithfully recreated that these are kind of half-assed jobs, repaints, and you can tell which one is more faithful, which one is just a repaint. But they are going to live on the same shelf. And finally, we got to throw a Venom in here. Now, this is the 3-pack version, but it's on the same size body as animated Venom. Now, I did order a bootleg of Venom, so we're going to see that soon. But that original figure, Jesus Christ, way too expensive. That's going to do it for animated series, vintage carded Spider-Man. I guess this one feels extra good because he was so hard to get for such a long time. But he was up for like 2 days on Walmart, so I'll give him credit. Well, actually I won't. I mean, it's been months. Fuck you, Walmart. But yeah, great stuff. And even this pose is such a low effort pose. I did this in 2 seconds. And if you looked at my posing from the last video, those were very difficult. This guy he moves. He's just got everything you want. I think the colors are great. I don't know. I just feel like this is the best Spider-Man from Hasbro ever. I don't know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments. What do you think is the best Spider-Man? As always, I'm going to leave it off with some figure photography. And you can see my library over on Instagram, scoopman_5000. You can check out my second channel. We reviewed Across the Spider-Verse. And then we're going to review The Flash. That's coming out fucking tomorrow. Make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. See you guys in the next video.